Hello, and welcome to Everyday Champions in Business presented by Action Coach Dane County. Action Coach is the world's #1 business coaching company, and today it's your opportunity to hear the tips, stories, and insider information that makes entrepreneurship and business the greatest game on the planet. I'm Amy Atherton, business coach with Action Coach Dane County, and today I have the pleasure of introducing Cole McCloskey of the Electrician Inc. Welcome, Cole.
Thank you for having me, Amy.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, Cole, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your business, how long you've been in business, how many employees you have? We'll just start there.
Sounds good. Yeah, so a little bit about our business. The Electrician was started in 2004. I actually did not start the company. A gentleman named Brent Yockler started the company in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Ultimately, a few years after starting it in 2004, moved the headquarters of the business to Mount Horeb. And then ultimately, in 2021, we actually moved from Mount Horeb to Verona. Over the course of the business's history, Brent started with just himself and then quickly hired a couple of employees. And then now we have grown into a company that is about 95 to 100 employees total. So we have quite a decent sized team, and we provide services for residential, commercial, and industrial clients doing construction services, design, build, and plan and spec type projects. We do all kinds of different service work for our clients, and then we also provide preventative maintenance and safety training and testing for our clients and their electrical systems and infrastructure. So we have a lot of different areas of the company, and we've been able to grow and sort of expand our scope of services to serve our clients.
Very nice. Yeah, you do have a large line of services there. So, who's your target market then? Like, who drives the business? What customer drives the business?
It's a difficult question to answer just because we have such a wide variety of clients. I would say that our target market is anyone, whether that's a consumer or a business owner or a facility manager, um, that wants to build a partnership with a electrical contractor that can help them with these wide variety of solutions. Um, we find a lot of people have a connection that maybe does some of their smaller service jobs, but they aren't able to perform a larger expansion, or they're not able to get into the preventative maintenance side of things. Maybe they're not able to service the um, fire alarm and access control systems, and all of those things to one degree or another are things that we're able to bring to the table and provide. So that's really our target market, I would say, and what drives the business is those relationships with repeat clients that want us to come in and help them with sort of the full scope of what they need, not just one piece of it.
Sure. Sure. That's fantastic. So, what is your vision for the electrician? What's your long-term vision?
Sure. So long term, we want to continue to grow and expand within our marketplace. We feel like there's just a tremendous opportunity, not only in Dane County, but really in our just region of the nation in general. There's a high demand. There's a lot of good paying industries in our area that drive the consumer side, right? Where a lot of people, need our services from a direct to consumer standpoint. And then, this is a very, I would say, a target rich environment for businesses too. A lot of businesses are moving in or expanding. The industries that we have through, the whole UW system in this area, along with biopharma and healthcare type operations, I think drive this economy, and it's very resilient. So we think there's just an endless room for expansion there. And then really certain, I described our scope of services that we provide and sort of the wide variety there. Some of those areas are more prevalent than others, I would say, in our company. And we want to continue just finding those different vertical markets that we can expand, and doing that to the largest degree we possibly can, while still providing that high level of customer service. So overall, that's our vision, is to continue expanding and growing throughout our area.
Great vision, great vision. So now you've kind of described to us about your services, but if you were to get philosophical, what is it the problem that you solve for your customers or the value that your business gives?
Yeah, I would say that the problem that we solve, two main things, I guess I would say. Number one, I sort of alluded to earlier, where we try to be the full service provider for our customers, um, instead of just saying that we only focus on this one tiny little piece of the electrical market. We try our best to provide all of those services or partner with others that are able to provide some specialty services that maybe we're not experts in. We try to keep our network as large as possible within others in similar industries to be able to sort of be that connection point for our customers. I think that's really one of the big problems we're able to help our clients solve. And then another piece would just be being responsive, really focusing on a relationship and not a transaction. I think
Mhm.
that too many times, just in business in general, people focus on the transaction, not the long term, not the relationship. And being a partner, viewing our relationships with our clients more as a partnership than a transactional way for us to make money, I think is something that is a little bit unique. We're not the only company that does it. You know, there's other companies that do that very well, but I think it's a key to um, ultimately solving a problem for our customers, which is just helping them get the result that they're looking for. That could be their line that's down in their factory, that could be their house that doesn't have any power, whatever the case might be, we're able to do that and do it in a way that helps show our clients that we're there for them when they need us.
That is some fantastic value. Yeah, relationships and partnerships, that goes a long way.
Definitely.
So what has been your biggest challenge that you've overcome as a business owner?
Well, I think there's been several for me personally, and then for us as a company. I think, like many others, we, we're in a market and we're in an industry where skilled labor is obviously extremely important, and being able to have members of our team that can do the work that we need to do every day. It's not something that can be trained in the course of a month or even a year or even 2 or 3 years. It really takes a good 5 to 7 to even 10 years to be really able to do what we do. And thus, we're always presented with the challenge of having a demand that exceeds our, sometimes having a demand that exceeds our capacity. So we've had to navigate that in different ways. Focusing on training is a big piece of navigating that challenge, and then just obviously doing our best to retain the members that we have on our team, and helping to them to expand their knowledge to others within the company is a big piece. And
Yeah,
then just recently we have also seen, especially during COVID, and a lot of people ran into this to a lot of different businesses, um, just the volatile pricing in markets with materials. And then
mhm.
the availability has definitely been a challenge that we've had to navigate, but relatively successfully, we've been able to navigate it by just using good purchasing practices, having partnerships with our vendors and things like that, good communication with our clients. That's helped us to really be able to be successful so far through that challenge.
Nice, very nice. Is you having any additional challenges right now, or are they still the same?
I would say those are two of the bigger ones. Obviously, there's a lot of just volatility in the market in general, specifically on the construction side of things, where you're reliant on financing coming through and a
Mm.
lot of different entitlements for the build process that I think have become a challenge at times for the individuals that are building these buildings that we're ultimately installing, providing our services
Yeah.
for. Um, but that's just a challenge we've been able to navigate too, by just making sure, again, communication is always key, and being able to communicate with our clients um, just about what's coming up, what's the status of whatever it is, that whatever project we're looking at, what is the status, what can we do to be helpful, things like that, are how we've been able to navigate that pretty well.
Good. you're a business owner. You've been doing this
Mhm.
for a while. So if you're in a room of new business owners that are electricians, what piece of advice would you give them?
There'd be a couple. I would say that learning that the ability to lead and to find people that are better than you are at certain things is very important. Even if you are just starting out and you're by yourself and you're doing everything from the installation to the estimating to the billing to the bookkeeping and everything yourself, there's still people that you're going to have to be able to partner with. It might be a vendor. Maybe it's bringing on an employee to do certain parts of those tasks. Um, you have to be able to focus on that to some degree and not rely on yourself for everything. You will burn out. You will, you just won't be able to do it all, and you certainly won't be able to do it all well. And that's something that I've had to really learn for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still learning every day.
Mm-hmm. That's
Is
great
that
advice.
the
That's great.
partnerships and being able to lead people and sort of partner with people are more important than the ability for you to do everything.
Yeah.
So.
So with that, have you had great mentor, coach, someone that's helped you get to where you are today?
Definitely. I've had a few. I would say the biggest impact on my career today has been partnering with the gentleman that started the Electrician Incorporated. His name is Brent Yockler. I mentioned him before. He's just been so instrumental in my career and development, both really personally and as a just as a leader and as a business owner and a business manager. Um, when I came into the business as an owner, I'd started in 2011 right out of high school with the Electrician Incorporated and worked my way up. And when I ultimately joined him in ownership, there was just a lot I had to learn about the
Mhm.
basics of business management, financial management, and things like that. And just being able to be immersed in running the business with him day in and day out has been super instrumental to my career. And then ultimately, still to this day, we're working together, and it's been really, really good. I think for both of us, but especially for me as a younger person, less experience
Mhm.
coming up through that journey of leadership. It's been super impactful.
Yeah, he sounds like a great mentor. So we're going to move on to some rapid fire questions. So just do your best to keep your answers brief here.
Sounds good.
So what is your key to success?
I would say persistence and partnerships.
Good. And what's a must-read book, podcast, movie that you would recommend?
Goodness, that's so tough. I would say a must-read book would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad, just for business and financial management. Makes things really simple. Um, Podcast is one I like is called Beyond the Blueprint. Good friend of mine in New York hosts it. All kinds of stuff from business development to construction to real estate, all kinds of different stuff in there.
Oh, those are good recommendations. And where can we find you online?
Sure. So you can find our company at www.theelectricianinc.com, all spelled out. Um, and then personally for me, I am on LinkedIn. Our company's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Um, that would be the best way to find us and go from there.
Okay. Well, nice job on the rapid fire. Just a couple more questions to go. Um,
Absolutely.
is there anything you'd like to include in the form of an offer or call to action? Any events coming up that you want to
Um,
promote?
yeah, actually, we do have an open house scheduled for, I believe, August 15th, which is a Friday, so it's a little ways out. We're going to have an open house where everyone, the public is welcome. They can come see our shop and our headquarters, our facility. We have lunch. We're gonna have a food truck there, probably some displays of the different types of work that we do, get a chance to meet our team and things like that.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for participating in our video interview series. As a thank you, we're going to send you an autographed copy of Joe Theismann's How to Be a Champion Every Day.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah. And for our audience, be sure to go to
Just
www.theelectricianinc.com
theelectricianinc.com.
to check out Cole's business and to get updates on the open house in August. And if you know of any business owners or business leaders that would like to participate in our interview series, please contact me at the link below. Other than that, fantastic job, Cole. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
You too, Amy. Thank you very much for having me.